Hello and welcome to Curse of the Azure Bonds Part 11. We arrived at Ulash and we are now entering. And of course, we ask for permission. Just before you enter, a man mounted on a large horse burst out Ulash. As the horse gallops by, you notice a woman dressed in purple clinging to the large man's back. As they speed away, you hear her call out, "Sorry." A guard warily comes out of a checkpoint. Other guards gather behind him. What do? We'll have a chat. You must come with us to see the commander. Of course. This is the commander's waiting room. Remain here until you are called. Soups comes bursting out of the commander's office. Someone yells, "Stop them! They spy for Central Keep." What do? Fight them. Sorry about the bit clunky introduction, but the commander we're about to meet now, there is a bunch of checks being done by the game that starts from the very beginning of the game, basically. Being a paladin is a positive. Fighting these men is a positive. Being imprisoned is a negative. Things like that. The only internal check this party will fail is being imprisoned because, of course, we surrendered to the guards in the first part and was imprisoned. Then that is a negative mark. And if the commander is not happy with you, all the Red Plumes will be hostile to you, and you don't actually need that in this area. There's plenty of random encounters and other things to fight. You honestly don't want or need the Red Plumes to be on your bad side. So I'm spending a bit too much time on this fight. I'm just toying a bit, I think. Trying out some different things. Just trying to get rid of the casters. There's for lightning bolts as well. How nice. For those not aware, by the way, you probably saw that the lightning bolt hit the wall and then rebounded, and that is the strength and danger of a lightning bolt. If you have a target up against the wall and you can cast a lightning bolt at that individual in a straight line, whether it's an angle straight line or a straight line, as long as it moves consistently in the same direction, it will rebound exactly the same way once it hits a wall. But you can use that, of course, if you have targets up against the wall to hit them multiple times with a lightning bolt, but at the same time, of course, that applies to your own characters as well, so you can take massive damage if you are standing incorrectly. These guys, they really like running away, don't they? You're not running anywhere. Time to get out the good old bow. Fairly sure I decide to just... Yep. That is what I anticipated. Me and my patience, like I was saying. A bit overkill. I know I can rest after this fight, so it's no biggie if I blow my entire arsenal of spells. He's got a shot with him. Bows are not entirely useful as of weapons, unless of course you have multiple bow users, but it is nice to be able to attack without being attacked in return. So, stones to the face. Oh, we're good. Decent amount of experience with that fight. Probably just the usual scrap though. Some broadswords and banded mails. Nothing particularly interesting. Those darts though. I think I know what kind of darts they are. Always look for something that's sticking out, like the fact that there's a maze there. It's most likely just a maze +1, but I would rather check it. You've been led to see the Red Plume commander. The commander demands to know your business in Ulash. How do you respond? Nice, of course. I see you have one of the swan maze with you. That is good. You have pleased the commander. I don't know why you're crazy enough to want to go down the pit of Moandering, but I can give you free passage through the city. I can guarantee that Red Plumes will not molest you. This is still a city under siege, and I can't be nursemaiding you around. It has been reported that Central Keep has sent some terror teams to annoy us. Some shambling mounds has also been spotted somewhere to the east. Here's a map to the pit and the location of our checkpoints. You're welcome to rest in the barracks and eat in the trooper mess. I've indicated them on the map as well. Oh, be careful. The walls and pavement in Ulash has endured some great strains recently. I can't vouch for their stability in most areas of the city. The commander shows you out the side door. So, you managed to do that check we needed to. This is nice. Fairly sure I decided to go through that door, and it did puzzle me why that was supposed to be locked, because it was actually looking for the mess hall. Because you want the terminal piece to remain, do you say, as you consume the local excuses for food and drink, you overhear tavern tale. Well, I don't care about tavern tales. Most of them are just rubbish. This is the barracks. The room is about half full of resting men. They point out a spot where your party can rest. So we did that. The guards wave you through. So there's a very specific location we need to get to. You've come upon a destroyed checkpoint. The mark of Central Keep is smeared in blood on the wall. How lovely. A band of Central Keep marauders jump you. Muhaha. We will jump back. There's a certain item that I want to get. I failed to use it probably, but yeah, well, that will be very, very noticeable in the later part. Can't fight for the bow in melee. That Ring of Wizardry, by the way, it was level 3 spells, obviously, because he's got quite a few fireballs available to him. So I've used slow before. Slow, of course, is the opposite of haste, and it halves the movement speed and number of attacks of enemies, so it can be quite useful when you have a lot of targets. Something I've mentioned in an earlier video, and I will happily mention again, is the fact that haste, while extremely powerful, I don't use it. I use it once per chapter, basically, because it ages your character 1 year, and the game will take into consideration the aging effect. And there is a counter for it in Pools of Darkness, but that's still a full game in between this. So I will only use haste for one fight, usually the final fight in the chapter. So anything of a note here? Most likely not. No, clerical score. Gallica notices a possible sinkhole in your path and leads you around it. You see a checkpoint manned by Red Plume guards to the east. The guards wave you through. So we're looking for an encounter right around here. No? Not here. You see a large group of shambling mounds in the distance. Shambling mounds seem reluctant to touch an object near a dead cleric. That should be an indication of something. And welcome to one of the worst types of enemy in this area, also in the game. But the shambling mounds, they are virtually immune to magic. They will take some damage from frost and very little damage from physical, and that's about it. And they have quite a bit of health. They're pain to fight, and of course they can choke the characters, and I'm fairly sure if you don't break out of the choke, your characters will die from it. So yeah, they are not very pleasant to fight. And then spoiler, the Pit of Moanda. The Shambling Mounds is Moanda's creation. I'm fairly sure we're going to face a few once we get down there. Lovely, lovely. And this is why we go and get the item in this area here, in order to alleviate all the fights against the Shambling Mounds. But as I said, I use it wrongly, I think it's called. So I don't get optimum usage out of it. And of course, I know I was safe scumming in an earlier episode. Well, I've been saying safe scumming basically the entire time when it comes to leveling up my characters for their health rolls or HP rolls even. And in a situation like this where you're fighting enemies that will require an awful lot of effort to take down, this is where those extra hit points can make or break the difference. And while I know it's essentially cheesy to do that, at the same time I don't necessarily want to have to reload a fight over and over again because my characters rolled 1, 2, or 3 hit points on level ups. So it's a compromise I am willing to make. So we should be almost done with these guys, thankfully. I'm fairly sure they are immune to blunt weapons as well. Whatever they are annoying. Of course, they always survive to 5 hit points. That has to be the case. So. Come on, kill the bloody thing. Thank you. The dead cleric clutches a bone wand. Actually, he clutches 2. But the one of importance, of course, is the one of defoliation, which will do. It's called heavy damage to plant life, but I think that word is a bit loose. Doing nice damage, not necessarily heavy damage. But we're coming up towards the end of this video, so Galga notices a possible sinkhole. You see a checkpoint manned by Red Plume guards to the north. The guards wave you through. You see before the pit created by Moander in his last incarnation. Step forward to enter the dark Mesna. And on that note, I'm going to say thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time. Bye bye.